You know, sometimes you just see something that is so beyond stupid that you're just kind of taken aback and you kind of can't believe what you see. And I saw one of those things. I was just scrolling through Twitter, as one does, and I saw this, and I just could not even with how stupid it was. This is just so dumb. Apparently, in the Fast and the Furious franchise, at least, I'm sure it happens in other movies, but specifically in the Fast and the Furious franchise, with these three specific actors, at least I believe it's just confirmed, I guess, that this is a thing within these three specific actors. It is very important to them that their characters don't lose fights. And I this is actually a thing I've noticed in the Fast and the Furious movies. So I mean, obviously the actors are Vin Diesel, The Rock, and Jason Statham, and I've kind of noticed that they tend to try to not like necessarily have it look like certain characters are weaker, I guess, than certain other characters. And I mean, this is especially the case with Dominic Toretto. Like, people talk about like Ray being a Mary Sue or whatever. The biggest Mary Sue in cinematic history is Dominic Toretto in the Fast and the Furious franchise. Like, he never loses a fight. And by the way, like, this guy, he's just like a mechanic or whatever. And, he's able to take on like, the the FBI, like any sort of special forces operative. He's able to take on assassins, and he's able to take them all on. A mechanic. Like, this dude is the biggest Mary Sue in cinematic history, bar none. But anyways, so between these three actors, Jason Statham, The Rock, and Vin Diesel, like, it is very important that they don't ever look weak in any scene, that they never lose fights, I guess. And I mean, that's kind of the case because a lot of times that they fight, there's never like there's like these creative things that they do to like stop the fight in the middle of them happening so that none of them loses a fight. Like in Fast and the Furious 7, there was when like at the beginning of that movie, when I think it was 7, right? Or was it 6? No, it was 7. I'm pretty sure it was 7, right? Yeah, whatever. When The Rock and Jason Statham, when Jason Statham goes to the fucking it's like The Rock's office building, and they have that fight. It's a great fight, by the way, but it ends with Jason Statham like throwing a grenade, and then The Rock grabs his partner, and he jumps out the window, and the fight ends like that. So that none of them lost. Neither is better than the other. But like I mean, I always noticed these things, but I didn't realize that. I thought it was more like the producers and the writers being like, well, we don't want to like, we don't want to kill off any characters or anything, so we should probably not let these fights go to the end. I thought it was more for like keeping the franchise going, but no. I mean, I'm sure that's part of it, but it's also the actors. Like, they are so insecure and their egos are so large that they cannot bear like ever coming off as weak in a fight. Like, that is so stupid. That is so, I mean, it's just so stupid. It's like, no, like, if The Rock loses a fight in a movie, no one in the audience is gonna go, oh, The Rock. Oh, the Rock sucks because he lost the fight in a movie. I'm not watching his movies anymore. Like, no one is gonna do that. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, it's so ridiculous. It's like, I can't. I literally can't with how stupid this is. Like Vin Diesel, I'll link the Wall Street Journal article. They kind of wrote about this first, and like Vin Diesel, this man, he came up with the idea of like counting like the punches and the headbutts that gets thrown in all the fights to make sure that nobody like gets more hits in than the other. And it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what? Who? Like, I mean, and like you'll notice, like they have like these gifs that point it out, like in Fast Five when Dom and The Rock, when they're fighting, like I think like Vin Diesel, he throws The Rock through a wall, and then like 8 seconds later, The Rock has to also grab and run Vin Diesel through a wall. Like they can't, like neither of them can can ever like one up the other in any way. Although I will say at the end of the fight, like Vin Diesel comes out on top, right? But either way, like even like within the fight, like you can't have one of them do a cool thing without the other one doing a cool thing. It's so ridiculous. And I think also in the same fight that I was talking about earlier, when they were like fighting in The Rock's office building, I think there's like a point where like where like Jason Statham and he throws The Rock through a glass pane, and then The Rock also has to throw Jason Statham through a glass pane. But like apparently it's not like just the fight choreographers are like, hey, this will be cool. It is the actors being like, no, he can't one up me like that. If he does that to me, then I also have to do that to him. And it's so stupid. It is so stupid. I can't even with how stupid this is. Like, it's also just so dumb that actors are given this much power. Like, I'm sorry, if you're an actor in a movie, here's what you should be doing. You should, they give you the script. The director tells you what to do. The fight choreographer tells you what to do, and you do it, and you shut the fuck up. That is your job. You're not a fight choreographer. You're not a director. You're not a script writer. You are an actor. You have a job to do. Like, it is so stupid that, like, producers and studios and, like, they just let actors do this shit. Like, it is so beyond dumb. I mean, it's like, imagine if a fucking waiter like went to the kitchen and told the chef, like, this spaghetti, it's not very good. You should do it more like this. I mean, I'm a waiter. I don't know anything about cooking. I don't have a culinary degree or anything. You may have like you may have like gone to culinary school. You may have been studying. You may have been cooking, and you may have been working for like 30 years. But me, I'm like 22 years old, and I've been waiting tables for like 2 years. So I'm gonna like tell you how to do this. So if you just shut the fuck up and listen to me, like, it's like, why do actors have this much power? It's so stupid. It is so stupid that this is a thing that's even tolerated. I've been ranting a lot about this, but it's just so stupid. Yeah, I don't know. It's dumb. I'll link, if you don't believe me, I'll link the Wall Street Journal article. But I mean, you can just see it. Like, if you watch the movies, like, you can see it. You will notice that, like, fights, whenever like these three actors are like fighting each other, they'll like end in like creative ways before one of them like really beats the other one. Like, you can see that. Like, I mean, also, like, this is so ridiculous. Like, so sorry. Like in Fast 7, the fight that I was referencing before. In that office building, that happens, right? And then in the next movie, like The Rock and Jason Statham are arguing about that fight, and they're like setting the record clear as to what happened in that fight. Like The Rock was like, you did not beat me. I jumped out of the window to save my partner. Okay, so you did not beat me. And it's like I remember when I watched it, I thought that was like a funny thing, but I didn't realize that it's actually the actors like that insecure about like their fictional characters and their fictional characters, being represented equally, because it's like they think that people are going to look at their fictional characters and then and then attribute the feelings of those fictional characters onto the actors. Like they think that the average movie-going audience, I guess, is that stupid and that vapid that's actually a thing that they do. I don't know. This is just so dumb. It is so dumb. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about this? I mean, this is honestly one of the dumbest things I've ever seen relating to the movie industry. Like, it's just like, how are you? I mean, first of all, when it comes to The Rock, Vin Diesel, and Jason Statham, there's a very clear hierarchy. The Rock is obviously like he would beat up both of them, and Jason Statham would obviously beat up Vin Diesel. Like, I hate how, like, Vin Diesel, he always, like, portrays himself in his movies like, oh, yeah, I'm a real tough guy, bro. I can take on anybody. And it's insane, like, watching all this and hearing all this stuff. It's like, I think that Vin Diesel actually thinks that he's a tough guy. Like, I think that he genuinely believes that he could take on anybody, in a fight. And that is, I mean, Jesus Christ, that is so pathetic. I don't even know. Like, I mean, at least with these three actors, it's just obvious that The Rock is on top, then it would be Jason Statham, and then it would be Vin Diesel. I mean, like, that's just obvious, right? what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? But it's just so, like, how can you be that famous, that rich, and just that successful, and you're still worried about these things? I mean, and, some people might say that, like, oh, well, they just have to keep up their image, like, their career is based on their image, and, they got to keep up their image. But, like, people, like, just because you lose a fight, like, if The Rock loses a fight in a movie, nobody's gonna go, oh, well, The Rock sucks now. I mean, I don't want to watch his movies anymore because he lost a fight. Like, that is so stupid. And just, like, do people really think that the movie-going audience is that dumb? I mean, really? Like, is that really what you people think? That the movie audience is so stupid that, that if a movie star that they like loses a few fights, that the movie-going audience is going to go, oh, well, fuck that guy, I don't want to watch him anymore. No, that's not going to happen. But, I don't know. I've been talking about this probably for too long. But, again, it's just one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen, and I just wanted to rant about it. So, yeah, bye.